Under concert lights, a laborer with a singer's dream is mocked and betrayed. Her songs stolen by fame-hungry elites. Forced to perform on a viral livestream, she unleashes a raw, soul-shaking anthem that exposes the industry's darkest secrets. The crowd is stunned. Reputations crumble. Witness the truth. Subscribe before it disappears. Studio Harmony in Los Angeles wasn't just a recording studio, it was the holy grail of modern music, where chart-topping global hits were born. Nestled in the heart of Hollywood, the glass and steel tower gleamed under blazing neon lights, a beacon summoning the stars. Inside, cutting-edge Neumann microphones worth tens of thousands of dollars hung in pristine booths. SSL mixing consoles hummed with precision, and Genelec speakers delivered sound so crisp it cut through the air like a blade. The walls boasted platinum plaques. Beyoncé had tracked single ladies here, Drake polished Hotline Bling in Studio A, and Taylor Swift left her high-heeled mark on the glass floors while mixing her latest album. This was where musical dreams turned to gold, but also a brutal arena of clashing egos and cutthroat ambition. Amid that dazzling glow, Mia Carter, 28, was a silent ghost. She pushed a cleaning cart through the glossy corridors, hands in rubber gloves, back hunched in a shapeless gray janitor's uniform. There had once been a different Mia, wavy brown hair cascading freely, sea-green eyes sparkling with life, a smile that could melt any distance. But time and hardship had stolen that away. Her mother's death from a terminal illness left behind a mountain of medical debt, crushing Mia's dreams of becoming a singer. Now, her beauty lay buried beneath dust and grime, her hair tied back in a messy bun, her pale face bare of makeup, the oversized uniform swallowing her frame until she became invisible. She swept floors, wiped fingerprints off glass, while singers and producers breezed past, their eyes never bothering to settle on her. Mia had once dreamed big, her self-written songs' lyrics raw with depth, melodies aching with soul lived in a tattered leather notebook, a secret she kept tucked at the bottom of her bag, untouchable to the world. But life had broken her, and now she was just a shadow in the studio where Chloe Vance reigned supreme. Chloe, the pop diva with platinum blonde hair and an octopus-like voice, ruled Harmony like a queen. Whenever she strutted in, assistants and producers swarmed her like bees, while Mia was shoved aside, worthy only of barked orders. Clean faster, don't slow me down. Then came the day disaster struck. Chloe found Mia's notebook, left forgotten in the break room, and snatched it up with a smirk. In front of a crowd, singers, sound engineers, producers, she flipped it open and read a lyric aloud in a mocking screech. Night shatters, dreams fall. I sing for those who won't hear. Her voice dripped with scorn. Listen up, the janitor's masterpiece. Play it. You failure, let the whole world see your trash. The room erupted in laughter, a few whipping out phones to film. Ethan Brooks, Chloe's manager, crossed his arms and sneered. Go live. If she flops, that $5 million record deal is ours. Give this nobody 5 minutes to bury herself. They forced Mia onto Harmony's main stage, a platform reserved for the biggest stars. Cameras rolled, blinding lights pinned her in place, and millions of viewers tuned in online, their comments flooding in. A janitor singing? What a joke! What's this clown show? Chloe stood smirking at the sidelines, hands on hips, cackling like this was peak entertainment. Producers whispered bets. Young singers curled their lips in disdain. Mia stood frozen, hands trembling, her gray uniform clinging with sweat, the torn notebook lying at her feet like her shredded dreams. This wasn't just a prank anymore, it was a public execution, and the whole world was watching. 1. Under the diva's heel, Mia is crushed. Mia Carter once dreamed of being a star. In the long nights spent in a cramped apartment on the outskirts of Los Angeles, she sat under a dim, flickering light, pouring her soul into songs' lyrics that sliced through pain like a knife, melodies that echoed suppressed cries. She hid them all in an old leather-bound notebook, its yellowing pages a testament to the dream she once believed could come true. But life doesn't spare dreamers. Her mother died after a prolonged battle with cancer, leaving behind a towering stack of medical bills that hammered Mia's hopes into dust. Debt choked her, her dreams crumbled to ash, and now, at 28, she was nothing more than a shadow in Studio Harmony, the sacred ground of music, where Chloe Vance reigned like a tyrant queen. Chloe wasn't just a singer, she was a monster cloaked as a diva. With platinum blonde hair shimmering like a crown, blood-red lips curling into a venomous smirk, and a voice that could twist a million hearts, she strutted through the studio as if she owned every inch of it. Assistants trailed her like flies, producers bowed low, while Mia the nameless janitor was only fit for disdainful glances or barked commands. "Hurry up! Don't make me wait, you useless thing!" Mia kept her head down, her hands gripping the broom tight, her chest aching but her lips sealed. She'd grown used to being trampled, used to being treated like dirt beneath the heels of people like Chloe. Then one day, everything shattered. Mia, exhausted after a grueling shift, accidentally left her precious notebook in the studio's break room. Chloe, like a vulture sniffing out carrion, found it. She snatched it up, her red-painted nails grazing the leather with a sinister grin. In front of a crowd, singers, sound engineers, assistants, and smug producers, she flung it open, her shrill voice cutting through the air like a blade. "Listen up, the janitor's masterpiece. Night shatters, dreams fall. I sing for those who won't hear. Pathetic enough to make you gag, right?" The room exploded with laughter, the sound stabbing into Mia's heart like 1,000 needles. Chloe spun toward her, eyes glinting with cruelty. "Who do you think you are, you filthy little nobody? A singer? An artist? I'll give you a shot, play it, you failure. Let the whole world see your trash." Mia froze, blood draining from her face. Chloe held the notebook high, ripping a page clean out in front of her, the torn paper fluttering to the floor like a shredded dream. "Look, I'm doing you a favor tossing out your garbage," Chloe cackled, her voice bouncing off the walls, the crowd joining in like a pack of hyenas. Ethan Brooks, Chloe's manager, stepped forward, his cold eyes gleaming with greed. He smirked, his deep voice dripping with contempt. "Go live. Put this girl on stage if she flops. That $5 million record deal is ours. I bet she'll cry before she finishes a single line." Chloe clapped her hands in delight, turning back to Mia with a venomous grin. "You heard him. Get on that stage, or should I tear the rest of this apart and kick you to the curb myself?" They didn't wait for an answer. Assistants dragged Mia toward the main stage of Studio Harmony, where blinding lights and $1 million silver microphone stood ready. Cameras flared to life, the giant screen broadcasting her pale, trembling face to millions of online viewers. Comments flooded in like a tidal wave. "A janitor singing? This is gonna be a disaster. Look at that outfit, what a loser." Chloe sauntered up beside her, grabbing the mic with fake sweetness. "Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a special treat today, a performance from the Toilet Scrubber. Give her a round of applause so she doesn't shake herself to death up there." The studio crowd roared with laughter, some pulling out phones to zoom in, their eyes shining with sick amusement. Ethan Brooks crossed his arms, muttering to Chloe loud enough for Mia to hear. "If she sings like crap, I'll turn her into the biggest meme of the year. That deal's yours. Chloe, this girl's just a stepping stone." Chloe shot Mia a sideways glance, her lips twisting. "Sing, you piece of filth. Or do you want me to call security to drag you out like I toss trash every day?" Mia stumbled onto the stage, her legs like lead, her shaking hands clutching the mic. Her gray uniform clung to her sweat-soaked skin, the torn notebook lying crumpled on the floor like a brutal reminder of everything she'd lost. Before her stretched a sea of blinding light. Behind her echoed Chloe's vicious laughter and the crowd's jeering chorus. Chloe wasn't done. She stepped closer, leaning in to whisper in Mia's ear with a voice like ice. "You think you could ever be me? You're just a rat in the gutter, and I'll stomp you down there forever." Then she spun back to the audience, throwing her arms up like a queen. "Everyone ready? Watch this nobody self-destruct in the next 5 minutes, and don't forget to donate to thank me for this entertainment." Ethan sneered, signaling the tech crew to crank the mic volume to max, as if ensuring every sob from Mia would echo across the internet's darkest corners. The live stream soared past 1 million views, toxic comments pouring in. "Cringe level 1000. Don't sing. Go back to scrubbing floors." Mia stood alone in the storm of humiliation, tears blurring her vision, but her grip on the mic tightening. Chloe and Ethan had turned her into a laughingstock, a sacrificial lamb for millions of bloodthirsty onlookers. Yet deep inside, a tiny spark still flickered, the spark her mother had lit when she said, "You don't sing for them to hear, you sing for them to feel." Would it be enough to pull her from this abyss? Or would Chloe's heel crush her into oblivion for good? 2. Countdown to Destiny. Mia faces death. The air in Studio Harmony buzzed with malice, thick and suffocating, as Mia Carter stood alone on the main stage. The blinding lights burned into her, casting harsh shadows across her sweat-drenched gray uniform. Her trembling hands clutched the microphone, her knees threatening to buckle under the weight of 1 million mocking eyes both in the room and beyond, streaming live across the internet. The torn remnants of her notebook lay scattered at her feet, each shredded page a dagger in her chest. Chloe Vance had turned her into a spectacle, a wounded animal tossed into the arena for the crowd to devour. The live stream counter ticked past 2 million views, the chat a relentless torrent of venom. "She's shaking already, pathetic. This rat doesn't belong here." Mia's breath hitched, her vision swimming, but the jeers drowned out any hope of retreat. Then, a voice cut through the chaos. Liam Hayes, a lanky sound technician with unkempt hair and a faded band tee, shoved his way past the sneering assistants. He'd seen Mia before late at night, when the studio was a ghost town, her voice echoing softly through an empty booth as she sang to herself, thinking no one was listening. Her melodies had stopped him cold, raw and haunting, a secret talent buried under layers of grime and despair. Now, his eyes blazed with conviction as he shouted over the din. "She can do it, I swear it on my life." His words rang out, desperate and defiant, a lifeline thrown into the storm. Chloe whipped around, her platinum hair slashing the air like a whip, her lips twisted into a sneer so vicious it could curdle blood. "Oh, look at this, the janitor's got a fanboy," she spat, her voice dripping with acid. "What's next, Liam? You gonna tell me this sewer rat's the next Adele? Please, spare me the sob story. She's a nobody, and she'll die a nobody." The crowd erupted in cruel laughter, feeding off Chloe's venom like starved jackals. She strutted closer to Mia, towering over her in 6-inch heels, and jabbed a manicured finger into the air. "Fine, let's humor the little hero. Give this disgusting rodent 5 minutes to self-destructile enjoy watching her crash and burn. It'll be the funniest flop since her miserable life began." Ethan Brooks nodded to the tech crew, his smirk widening as he barked, "Start the clock. Cameras in tight, don't miss a second of this train wreck." The giant screen above flared to life, a countdown blazing in red. 5 o'clock, 4:59, 4:58. The camera zoomed in, capturing every tremble of Mia's hands, every bead of sweat sliding down her pale face. The online audience roared with glee, comments piling up like bullets. "She's gonna choke. $5 she runs off crying." Chloe leaned against a speaker, arms crossed, her eyes glinting with sadistic delight. "Tick-tock, trash bag," she taunted, loud enough for the mic to catch. "Those 5 minutes are all you've got before I bury you so deep. Even the worms won't find you." Mia's heart pounded like a war drum, her throat dry as ash. The lights seared her skin, the laughter clawed at her soul, and Chloe's voice sliced through her like a guillotine. She glanced at the clock, 4:30. Then at the crowd, their faces a blur of scorn. A $5 million record deal hung in the balance. A prize Chloe and Ethan were ready to snatch over her broken body. The live stream was a guillotine of its own. Millions waiting to see her bleed out in humiliation. This was her last shot, one fragile, fleeting chance to rise or be crushed forever. Would she stand tall, or would she crumble under the weight of their hatred? Chloe wasn't content to watch in silence. She paced the stage's edge like a predator circling prey, her heels clicking ominously. "What's the matter, gutter girl? Too scared to squeak?" she mocked, her voice rising to a shriek. "You're not even worth the dirt under my shoes. Look at you shaking like a drowned rat in that hideous rag you call a uniform. You think you belong here? This stage is for queens, not cockroaches." She spun to the crowd, throwing her arms wide. "Tell me, who wants to see this loser bawl her eyes out? Give me a cheer." The room exploded again, a wave of jeers crashing over Mia, some even chanting, "Cry, cry, cry." Liam clenched his fists, his face red with fury. "Shut up. Chloe, she's got more talent in her pinky than you've got in your whole fake career," he yelled, but his words were swallowed by the mob's howls. Chloe laughed, a sound sharp enough to shatter glass. "Talent? Her? Oh, Liam, you're as delusional as she is. This pig couldn't sing her way out of a dumpster. I bet her own mother died just to escape that voice." The crowd gasped, then roared louder, feeding on the sheer brutality of her words. Mia flinched as if struck, her mother's memory a fresh wound torn open by Chloe's cruelty. Ethan stepped forward, his voice smooth and menacing. "4 minutes left, princess," he called to Mia, tapping his watch. "Better start squealing, or we'll mop the floor with you literally." He turned to Chloe with a conspiratorial grin. "Imagine the headlines. Janitor bombs, Live Chloe Vance saves the day. We'll be swimming in that deal by midnight." Chloe blew him a kiss, then pointed at Mia. "Go on, filthsing. Prove you're more than a stain we scrape off the bottom of our boots." "Oh wait, you can't." The clock hit 3 o'clock. Mia's hands shook so hard the mic slipped, nearly dropping. The crowd hooted, Chloe clapping sarcastically. "Oops, clumsy little vermin. Maybe stick to scrubbing toilets, it's the only thing you're good for." Mia's eyes darted to Liam, his desperate nod her only anchor in the storm. Then to the torn notebook, its pages a silent scream of everything she'd lost. 2:30. The live stream surged 3 million viewers now, a global jury baying for her failure. Chloe's voice rang out again. "Time's running out. You worthless slug. Face it, you're nothing. You've always been nothing, and I'll make sure you stay nothing until you rot." This was it. A contract worth millions dangled just out of reach. A live stream of millions poised to immortalize her shame, and one final, razor-thin chance to fight back. Mia's chest heaved, her pulse a deafening roar. The world held its breath not out of hope, but to watch her fall. Chloe's smirk was a death sentence, Ethan's greed a noose tightening. 1:59. Mia would either rise like a phoenix or be ground into dust beneath Chloe's heel. There was no in-between. Which would it be? Subversive voice. Chloe collapses into light. The stage of studio harmony trembled under the weight of silence, a stillness so heavy it felt like the air itself was holding its breath. Mia Carter stood at the center, her gray uniform soaked with sweat, the microphone a lifeline in her trembling hands. The countdown clock blazed red, 00:10, its relentless ticks echoing like gunshots in her ears. 3 million viewers watched live, their mocking comments a venomous flood across the giant screen. "She's done for. Pathetic, give up already." Chloe Vance loomed at the stage's edge, her platinum hair glowing under the lights, her smirk a blade poised to slit Mia's throat. Ethan Brooks tapped his watch with a predator's grin, whispering to Chloe, 5 seconds, and she's toast. That deal's ours." The crowd's laughter swelled, a tidal wave ready to drown her. Mia shut her eyes, the world fading to black. Her chest heaved as she drew a deep, shuddering breath, the sound rasping through the mic for all to hear. In that darkness, she saw her mother frail, fading, but with eyes fierce with love. "You don't sing for them to hear," her mother's voice whispered, steady and warm. "You sing for them to feel." The words ignited something inside her, a spark flaring into a wildfire. Her fingers, shaking no more, brushed the keys of the studio's sleek grand piano, a beast of ebony and ivory she'd only ever cleaned, never dared to play. The first note rang out, sharp and defiant, slicing through the jeers like a thunderclap. The crowd froze. Chloe's smirk twitched. Then Mia sang. Her voice erupted, not timid, not broken, but a force of nature, raw and unyielding. It was a song she'd written in the dead of night, locked away in that tattered notebook Chloe had mocked and torn. The melody surged, fierce and jagged, a storm of pain and pride crashing against the studio walls. "I walked through fire, I bled through stone," she sang, each word a hammer striking steel. "Built my world where you left me alone." The audience's laughter died, snuffed out by the sheer power rolling off her. The cameras swiveled, zooming in as her voice climbed higher, a phoenix rising from ashes they'd tried to bury. Chloe's eyes narrowed, her fists clenching. "What the hell is this?" she hissed, but no one answered. Every soul in the room was pinned by Mia's sound. Then came the chorus, the moment that broke the world open. "You stole my dreams, you wore my crown. Now watch me rise while you fall down." The lyrics hit like a bombshell, but Mia wasn't done. She turned, locking eyes with Chloe, and unleashed the killing blow. "The thief who took my soul stands there trembling, caught red-handed in her lies." The crowd gasped, a collective intake of breath that sucked the oxygen from the air. Chloe's face drained of color, her red lips parting in shock. The stage erupted literally. Hidden tech triggers, set up for Chloe's own dramatic entrances, misfired under the chaos. Spotlights flared wild, strobing red and gold, as pyrotechnics sparked at the edges, sending up plumes of smoke. The giant screen flickered, and then BAM security footage blazed across it, synced to Mia's voice by some unseen hand in the control booth. There was Chloe months ago, sneaking into the break room, flipping through Mia's notebook, scribbling her own name on stolen lyrics. The timestamp glowed, undeniable proof. The crowd's gasps turned to shouts, a roar of disbelief and fury. "She stole it!" someone yelled. "That's Mia's song!" another screamed. Mia's voice soared higher, the final note a dagger aimed at Chloe's heart. "The world knows now your throne's a lie." The piano thundered under her hands, the chords shaking the floor as the last sparkler fizzled out. Silence slammed down. A split-second void, then chaos exploded. The audience leapt to their feet, screaming, cheering, a tidal wave of sound that rocked the studio to its core. Online, the livestream chat detonated. "Holy SHD, she's unreal!" * Chloe's finished. 3 million voices flipped from mockery to awe in a heartbeat. Chloe stumbled back, her heels catching as she clutched Ethan's arm. "Turn it off!" she shrieked, her voice cracking like glass. "Shut it down now, you idiots!" But Ethan just stared, his smirk gone, his face a mask of panic as the screen looped the footage, her theft, her lies, her ruin over and over. The crowd turned on her, boos cascading like thunder, phones flashing as they recorded her downfall. "Liar!" they chanted. "Thief!" Mia stood tall, chest heaving, her uniform no longer a mark of shame but a badge of defiance. The lights dimmed, framing her in a golden glow, while Chloe shrank into the shadows, a deposed tyrant unraveling. Liam Hayes punched the air from the sidelines, his shout lost in the uproar. "I told you she's a damn legend!" The tech booth erupted in cheers, someone slamming a fist on the console in triumph. Ethan tried to slink away, but the crowd blocked him, their rage now a living thing. Chloe's eyes darted, wild and desperate, as she screamed at Mia. "You'll pay for this, you filthy rat, I'll destroy you." But her words drowned in the sea of noise. Powerless against the truth Mia had unleashed, the hook hit harder than anyone expected. From the janitor's broom to the thief's doom, Mia's voice just rewrote the rules. The screen flared one last time, freezing on Chloe's guilty face as Mia's final note lingered. A haunting echo that silenced the world. 3 million viewers know. 4 million now watched in stunned silence as the realization sank in. The nobody they'd mocked had just toppled a queen. Chloe's reign was over, her lies exposed, her crown shattered. And Mia? She wasn't just standing, she was soaring. Her song a weapon that had turned humiliation into glory. The world knew now. The real liar was trembling, and the real star had risen. 4. From ashes to crown, Mia determines her destiny. The applause thundered through studio harmony, shaking the walls with its ferocity. The audience leapt to their feet, shouting, "They're brava!" Cries blending with piercing whistles. Mia Carter stood center stage, breathless, her eyes blazing under a halo of golden light. From the ashes of humiliation, she'd ignited a fire no one could extinguish. Chloe Vance, who'd strutted like a queen just moments ago, now crumpled, her face ghostly pale. Ethan Brooks, the smug manager, bowed his head, hands trembling as he tried to shield himself from the crowd's fury. "Thief! Liar!" they roared. Ryan King, the silver-haired record mogul with a voice of steel, strode onto the stage. The room fell silent as he pointed at Mia. "Girl, you didn't just save this studio, you rewrote its history. I want you to sign with me right now. $10 million, non-negotiable." The place erupted again, cheers splitting the air. Chloe lunged forward, shrieking, "No! This is a setup. She's trash." But security swarmed in, dragging her off stage, her heels clattering wildly like the beat of her defeat. Ethan slunk toward the back exit, eyes dodging the camera still trained on him. Mia didn't glance their way, she stood firm, hands that once scrubbed floors now clutching her future. 3 months later, she walked into that same studio, no longer pushing a trash cart but wielding a pen. Her first hit, Rise from Ashes, shot to the top of the charts, its lyrics a bold declaration. "I didn't fall, I'm the wind that sweeps my foes away." From a despised janitor, she'd become the one who shaped destinies, a victory no one saw coming. But this isn't just about glory. Look around, how many other MIAs are out there? Buried by prejudice? The street vendor silently working the corner, the janitor hunched in the alley, or that old friend who once dreamed big but got crushed by life. They might carry a fire waiting to blaze. Chloe was wrong. Talent doesn't need a spotlight to exist. It just needs a chance to shine. Mia rose from ruins, but how many others never get their voices heard? Think about it, who in your life is overlooked, dismissed, just because they lack a stage? Don't let stories like Mia's end here. Watch now to see who truly survived that fateful night. And hit that subscribe button. We bring you unexpected triumphs, moments that leave you cheering and teary-eyed. Support us so you won't miss out, because somewhere, another Mia is waiting for you to discover her.